Okay, it's 4:30, and it's time to stand up, so we invite you all to stand up. We've heard the theme, actually, superhero, a number of times already, and we come today to invite you to also join that. And so together, we're going to say the word super, and you will say back to us, heroes, all at the same time. Are you ready?
Ready?
Super!
Heroes!
Oh, gosh. Come on, little energy. Ready? Super!
Heroes!
All right!
Yes.
Sit
Good
down.
to feel the energy at the end of the afternoon. Yeah, so I feel like you are energized, and I hope you also are very inspired, as inspired as I am after all those great presentations we had this afternoon. I guess we all came today to that conference eager to learn about innovative techniques, being inspired by case studies, and I guess at least to me, the contract is fulfilled today. So what we would like to ask to ourselves now is that with all those great, innovative, cool approaches that are available today and so many possibilities that digital can offer, should we consider the traditional qualitative techniques dead? Should we totally forget about them? So there are, interesting questions, right? Especially for us, professional researchers. We are here to drive insightful business decisions in our organizations, but we need to do so in the most effective and efficient manner. So we are really in charge of finding the best approaches. So those are the questions that Patrice and I had in mind when we were preparing this talk. And what we would like to do in the next minutes is to demonstrate that actually, yes, new techniques, digital, mobile, all of that is absolutely fantastic. And we've been using them quite a lot at Bel in the last few years, and I'm going to show you a few examples. But on the other hand, we are still convinced that the traditional qualitative is still very valuable. But the thing is, when you combine both, strategically combine both, this is where you get the most of it. Richer insights for less money and less time. So Baby Bel, we're going to talk about that guy. Baby Bel at Bel Brands is our hero, superhero, as you can see here. He's our hero. He's a mini cheese, but with a great taste, great nutrition. It's super convenient, it's super fun, and you can see that we like to have fun at Bel too. And he's our superhero, he's a super snack. And why we are wearing those capes is because we would like to invite you in his world. We would like to invite you to be the superhero in your organization, to be the ones who who drive the best insightful decisions, but with the most effective and efficient approaches. So a few words about Bel before. So what we've been doing in the Consumer Insights group at Bel. So we are a very small group. We're just 3 people here in the US. But we've tried to continuously embrace innovative approaches. And it all started back in 2009. It was just way before my time here in the US. And with Patrice, when we did our very first mobile diary. So we were kind of pioneers at that time. Today, we are leveraging our Insight community, and we ask our members to go shopping and take videos. We ask them to take videos when they are consuming our product, so we have in-the-moment feedback. So we do a lot of different kinds of activities. We've also started smartphone ethnographies back in 2013, so in Qual, we've been using them quite a lot. And when it comes to shopper study, we're about to start a path to purchase with geo-intercept, so location. We heard that today. It's something very important to us too. But there's something I wanted to point out is that we've done quite a lot of quant eye tracking back test and quant facial coding advertising pretest. Those techniques are great. We've been using them quite a lot, but in quant only. And you're going to understand why I'm saying that now in a few minutes. So back to Baby Bel. Our challenge was like a year ago. The creative team came with a new creative platform, an entire ecosystem for a new communication. So we had, of course, a video that we're going to use on TV and digital. We had print, we had digital banners, point-of-sale material, the whole ecosystem. So we wanted to test that, to evaluate it, and to understand what would be working or not. But there were a few challenges. First of all, time. So time, you tell me, okay, time is always a challenge in any project that we do. But in that case, we barely had anything, and we needed to be on air 2 months later. So we really needed to have an approach that will help us identify what we're going to do in a very short period of time. And the other thing is that I didn't have the luxury to do like multiple rounds. I had to do it right the very first time. So I needed something, an approach that would give me very clear implications, very direct, concrete implication, so that we could brief our agencies right away and they would know what to do and have it right away. Right the first time. Second challenge was budget. Again, not very unusual, but in that case, it was also very small, and we didn't have the luxury to do, again, not multiple, but even like a big quantity. It was kind of very strange. But it was not enough. I said to myself, okay, we have those two challenges, but emotions are so important. Emotions are so important in communication. So I wanted to bring in some system one measures as early as possible in the process. And in that case, I just had one round, so it was now. I wanted to have a kind of system one measures right now. So what did I do? Well, I reached out to Patrice because I knew she's very creative, always on the leading edge when it comes to new technologies and qualitative. So I was sure she would be ready to take on this challenge and find a way to best approach it.
Okay. So yes, Pauline came to me with all the stimulus, with a very short time frame and a small budget. Now, not so small for qualitative, but really what she wanted to do would have been several waves of research. And so what we're looking at is a question: how can then we be the consumer insight hero? How can we get as much information as possible to raise Baby Bel to become the superhero of snacking? And that was really what we were looking for, is to help the brand, get those kinds of insights. So the way that we approached it, when Pauline mentioned the point about system one, unconscious, we really did need to know about the emotions. And eye tracking and facial coding is very powerful. But if any of you have done it or you've heard about it, you know about it, typically it's done quantitative, because when it's mobile, now when I say mobile, I'm referring to it can be done anywhere you have a computer or a laptop with an internet connection. So in this respect, I'm kind of breaking the mold of what is mobile. We're not talking about a phone. We're talking about if it's digital and you can do it anywhere, from my point of view, it's mobile. So this case, we're saying, yes, you can do eye tracking and facial coding. You don't need to be in a lab or anything. You can do it mobile. But you're likely to lose as much as 50% of the sample, particularly on the eye tracking data. So how do we solve that? In this case, we wanted to have both this kind of subconscious, but also a conversation and hear people talk. So we brought them all to a research facility. So we had several sets of people, 6 focus groups. But before they were in a group, they came in one-on-one. And what we were doing is to try to minimize this sample being lost. And the reason why it's lost is because, as you can see, you've got things like you need to tell the consumer, okay, please get good lighting in the room. Not only good lighting, let's make sure that it's from the front. And then they get this quality control check, which is great, and it works for about half the sample. But the other half of the sample, left to their own devices, are going to turn their head, move back, sit, slouch, whatever, and you lose the sample because they're no longer in frame to be able to read what's going on in their face. So the way we solved that was to have a very comfortable room that was already set up with the right lighting, perfectly, the internet was high-speed internet, just the right, setup where they sat down in the chair. I'm right across from them, so they're having a nice conversation, which means they're more likely to just sit still, looking at the computer, and let them see the ad. then in addition, it gave me the opportunity on a one-on-one basis to be able to say, so what'd you think? What did you take away? What do you remember from that? And it was very interesting when we started to get into the actual data that was played back. We got 82% of the eye tracking. And I have to say, last night I was kind of looking at things, and the actual bid we got from IC, who did this for us, they were not real optimistic that a small, qualitative 48-person sample was going to do it. They actually bid that 24 would be complete. That's what they told me. And I said, no, we're going to do better than that. Mm-hmm. And we got 37 of our 45. So we're quite proud of that. And by having that, we were able to better understand what happened with the print. Now, remember, when you do this kind of testing, you get the analysis after all of it's done. So I have just talked to them. I've got the one-on-one information. And when they played back kind of the main message on the print, it was really unfocused. And I couldn't quite understand what was going on. But I want to point out one thing that you see here in the eye tracking. In the first 3 seconds, almost everybody was looking at the title. And about half looked at the brand. And within 10 seconds, everybody looked at the brand. So that was all good. But they were spending a lot of time. Remember, this is in the first 3 seconds. Half of that 3 seconds was on the title. And when we asked them to say, what did you remember? No one played back the title of the ad. So then we get into the group, and I'm like, still kind of wondering, why is that? And we're kind of talking in the first group. Some woman about halfway through goes, oh, last snaction hero. Oh, action, snaction, now I get it. And that was the problem. They couldn't, one, pronounce the word, and two, it made no sense to them whatsoever. But had we just taken away that we got this great, look at the title, we might have interpreted that differently. We needed all 3 pieces to be able to seriously understand what was key for the print and what needed to change. So it was the combination of those things that helped to better understand direction for the print. On the TV, one of the things that we want to make sure you see is that it was in really boardomatic, rough form. So let us show you what the consumer saw. Oh, no sound?
Okay.
Somebody's got to rescue snack time from Blanksville.
Baby Bel delivers an epic performance in The Last Snaction Hero.
You want a piece of me? Good and delicious.
Rich, creamy, 100% natural cheese.
Snack a little bigger.
Okay, and so once they saw that, again, it was in an informal one-on-one. We could say, so what did you think? Play it back to me. Just tell me what was the story. What's the main thing you got out of it? And pretty much everyone said, Baby Bel is a great snack and it's healthy. Well, that's what it's known for. Going back to you play back what you expected. Well, that was part of what they expected to see. But what we weren't hearing was that kind of superhero status, that it's really a great snack for snack time. So one of the things that we got when we did, oh, now it plays, okay. 100% of the facial coating was usable. And not surprising, you can see here that when the brand was shown through the ad, it had great visibility. So it did even much better than the benchmark you see here. This is, again, all IC's, their benchmark. But what was happening when it came to the emotional engagement, as you look at the line down here, it kind of comes down, which is typical. Ads go up and they go down. But the word Blanksville really kind of pulled them down. And there were a number of people who had puzzled looks on their faces that was read. And then, just as we talked about the Last Snaction Hero in the print, same thing kind of here. You see the dip down, and people were not only showing a bit of puzzlement, but also a bit of disgust, which was certainly not what you'd like to see from your ad as they're watching. So it really did help us to incorporate all of the elements to give good direction to the creative, to the agency. And finally, just a few minutes, they had a chance in the group to talk about the digital, the point of sale, and the floor talker. And when they got to the floor talker, there's almost always somebody there who'd be like, you want a piece of me? And you could tell that they had, they remembered the Robert De Niro kind of line, and they were playing it back. And that quality of emotional engagement, that they were that engaged with the material, helped us to better understand that the ecosystem really worked well together.
Thank you. So as Patrice said, really what was really powerful in that design, methodological design, is that we really had both the one-on-one interview, the focus group interview, when we could really understand and go deep, but also have some emotional measures that were really, really important for us, because we wanted to have a powerfully engaging, emotionally engaging ecosystem. So just for you to know what we did after those results, because it was so clear and so precise, so we knew exactly what to do, because we had a great understanding of what was working and not, and why, and how we could change that, how we could tweak it, how we could transform it. So we went from a kind of a confusing ad with the last action hero to the Great Snack Rescue, which is building on the hero theme, but much more straight to the point in terms of headline. And we actually used the same in the TV. I don't know if you can play that, or should I do it?
Packed full of flavor, one fun-sized hero was on a mission. Looks like somebody's got to save snack time from a serious case of boring. Watch Baby Bel's big tastes leap into action in the Great Snack Rescue. You want a piece of me? Good, I'm delicious. Creamy, delicious, 100% natural cheese. Mini Baby Bel. Snack a little bigger.
The question is now, so how did it perform, right? So we had some exceptional results. We are very happy with that, and even more happy that we just had one round of testing, all in one, when we had this traditional and new techniques all together. And we tested the impact in two ways. On your left, you can see the Nielsen TV brand effect. So in blue, those are the measures for the Great Snack Rescue ad. So it's significantly higher than any other previous ad that we had for Baby Bel, which at that time we were considering a good performing ad, so we were very excited to see that. And in terms of Millward Brand, we also had the highest recognition level ever versus, again, the previous ads. But not only it was impactful and breakthrough, but also it really worked hard on the communication objective. We wanted to communicate that Baby Bel had a great taste for the whole family, and we achieved the highest score ever, again, in this branded tracker. So really, it was, not only were we happy with the result, but it was so effective and efficient, again, just in one round of augmented qual, I would say. So to summarize all of that, really the key message that we wanted to convey today is that combining the new techniques with the traditional, or I would say very validated traditional qual is very powerful. It can really help us gain richer insights, but also have more actionable implications, and all of that in a more efficient and effective way, and ultimately to get a greater performance. So I would say that the combination of both can really help you be the superhero in your organization. Thank you.
All right. So, anyone want some cheese?